About to go on my biggest, most expensive vacation I've ever gone on, so I want to share some of the best budgeting money tips I use to make sure I'm well prepared financially for these trips and help ease any money anxiety I used to have around going on vacation. First one is I budget all my trips for the year at the beginning of each year. I usually know the big trips I'm going on, which are the most important, to have a rough idea of how many you're going on, how much you're going to be spending, and then I set aside a little extra for any other trips I don't know I'm going to go on. It's really helpful from a budgeting perspective to at least have a rough view of how many trips you're going to go on and how much they're going to cost versus trying to just budget for each trip individually as they come up. Then I'll start refining my budget for a specific trip as I get closer and start booking certain things like flights and hotels. Those can make a big difference in whether my initial budget was even in the ballpark or not. And then I also estimate how much I'll spend on food because that's typically my third biggest expense. Once I have my budget for a specific trip pretty much nailed down, I'll add a 10% buffer onto that number. I don't try to go over my initial estimate, but it's there in case I do. If unexpected expenses come up, just so I'm prepared to spend extra if I need to. This next tip is really important and probably the most important one for myself, and that is to never travel without having some sort of emergency fund as a backup in my savings account. You just never know what can happen on a trip, and I want to make sure that I have extra money I could tap into if I need to. And also in general, I could just not imagine going on a trip that costs thousands of dollars and not have an emergency fund to lean back on. Like, I would just be stressed about money the whole time. I know this video is getting long, but I promise I only have two more, and I didn't want to have to make a part two because those are annoying. Number 5, I track my expenses every single day. I used to just track them or add them up when I got home, but then I noticed that throughout the trip, I was just stressed about money. I wasn't sure if I was way over or way under. So it's just really easy for me to just quickly add up my expenses at the end of the day and see how I'm tracking. Number 6, I'll continue my normal spending up until I go on the trip. I used to cut out all extra discretionary spending the week or two before a trip because I was like, I need to save up. I was anxious for going on this expensive trip, but that is the whole reason why I do all of this robust budgeting to make sure I can afford it. So there's no need for me to change up my normal everyday spending in advance, as I'm already doing all the right things financially to make sure I'm ready for the trip.